Hello everyone, this is Captain Joel and welcome to my latest Marvel Puzzle Quest video. In this video, I will be talking about the newest 5-star character, Black Bolt, the Inhuman King. He was just released today and I think he's a pretty neat character to add. So let's dive right in. So first off, this is covered from the Inhumans. It's from 1998. So the Inhumans have been around for a while, although they've become much more prominent lately, especially with the Marvel Cinematic Universe edition of the Inhumans and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So Black Bolt, also known as Blackagar Boltagon, pretty funny name, was born with the power to unleash great destruction with his voice. It is said that a mere whisper can level a mountain, while a scream can split a planet in two. As the king of the Inhumans, Black Bolt's power requires that he lead his people in complete silence, speaking telepathically via his wife Medusa. Ruling from the hidden city of Attilan, Black Bolt must wisely decide how best to protect his people from the humans who wish to destroy their way of life. So I actually like this character art. It's pretty good. They didn't screw this one up. I like the cover choice as well. So Black Bolt is a green, black, yellow character. He does 592 damage with his highest match damage color, which puts him below most of the characters. He's below Black Suit Spider-Man, below Old Man Logan, below Bruce Banner, below Cap America, Steve Rogers, but above Green Goblin and above the Phoenix. So he's about mid-tier match damage, but once you're already up in this range, a few extra, even 100 doesn't make much of a difference. So he's got 48,835 health at max level. So he's got a bit more than the base health of Old Man Logan and Phoenix, but he doesn't have the same regenerative powers they have, and he has more health than Bruce Banner before Bruce transforms into Hulk. But again, no healing powers. So he's got a decent amount of HP and decent match damage. But let's take a look at his powers now. So his first power is green. It costs 10 AP for his regular effect. It's called the Quasi-Sonic Whisper. With even the softest word, Black Bolt unleashes destruction. Destroys the middle two rows, dealing 7,947 damage. That's at 3 covers. At 4 covers, it deals 10,089 damage. And at 5 covers, that's 14,371 damage. So that's for a 5-star. It's not great. It's better than Silver Surfer for sure, but it's not great if you're just using the at 3 covers. At 4 covers it becomes decent, and at 5 covers it actually becomes pretty good. Not great, but pretty good. It does about the same amount of damage as Black Suit Spider-Man's green. Except it doesn't stun for 4 turns, it instead destroys the middle 2 rows. So at 3 covers, not that good damage, pretty good damage at well, it's also cheaper, so I guess it really is better than Black Suit Spider-Man except for the stun lacking. So this is a pretty good green for the damage, but the real kicker is if you have the special condition met. If you have at least 5 AP in all colors, he lets out a scream, draining all friendly colored AP, meaning team-up tiles would not count, destroying the board and dealing 27,382 damage to the enemy team. That's at 5 covers. At 3 covers, you're only going to do 16,000, and at 4, 20,000. So I think this cover really does make a huge difference between 3 and 5 covers. We're talking over 10,000 damage more when you're using the special impact to each enemy, which means if you have 3 enemies that could actually survive this, you're doing an extra 30,000 damage between 3 and 5 covers. So when you're destroying these, so you're destroying the entire board. So that's great for getting rid of strike tiles and protect tiles and attack tiles. Um, and this does not deal damage or destroy AP when you're destroying the tiles, so you're only getting the damage from the move itself. Of course, if there happens to be a cascade as a result of destroying tiles, then that will do extra damage. So I think this move is pretty good, but something to take into account, well, it might not seem like a lot, just 5 AP in all colors. Remember, that means you need 10 green AP in addition to 5 AP in all covers. So that means you need 25 AP in other colors and the 10 green AP. That's 35 AP. That's a lot. So it definitely is a lot of damage, but it's using a lot of AP. And you're very unlikely to have exactly 5 in each color. So you're probably going to be having to throw away some AP as well if you use this skill. So it's definitely a great move. It does a lot of damage, and it can kind of destroy any strike tiles that Old Man Logan or Phoenix have thrown out, but it costs a lot of AP. So I think that it's a good move though, and definitely worth having. So his next move is black. It's a passive. It's called Energy Channeling. Black Bolt uses his antenna to dry out the ambient energy surrounding him. Every turn creates 2 charged tiles in the color most present on the board. If there are at least 4 charged tiles on the board, deals 3,782 damage to the target and 656 damage to Black Bolt instead. So essentially he's going to be creating charged tiles every turn until there's at least 4 on the board. And then he's going to be dealing damage after that and taking some himself, a very minor amount though. So first off, the difference between 3 and 4 is just he deals a bit more damage and takes a bit less. He does a lot more once you have 5 covers, and he does no damage to himself. So first off, that means that generally within 3 turns, you'll probably be able to take advantage of this, meaning that's a free 5,000 damage every turn. It's kind of like an attack tile, except there is the drawback that the enemy could match the charge tiles, and that will hurt you a lot. So I think that this skill, it does have drawbacks, but it's also very powerful, potentially. So I think that it's, and remember, it's going to be on the most present color on the board, so it will probably be matched after a couple turns. So you won't have this move going off every turn in terms of the damage component, but pretty often. So 5,300 damage every turn automatically is insane. It makes Bruce Banner's move kind of seem pathetic. His gamma ray experiment. He deals what? He deals 1,000 damage if you have these ridiculous conditions met. They're almost never going to be met. I mean, I don't know what they were thinking. This is so much better on Black Bolt with his black skill than what Bruce Banner has. So it's pretty sad. But anyhow, now let's go and see what makes Black Bolt not so good. So this is his yellow move, the Silent King. Black Bolt's noble stoicism and supreme wisdom motivate his subjects to work their hardest. If one does not exist, converts a random basic tile into a 6-turn motivation tile targeting one other ally, increasing all their powers by 1 level to a max of 5. So when we say powers, it's actually referring specifically to increasing the number of covers they have. Meaning if you have a character with only 1 cover, they're now going to have 3 covers in each one of their skills. It'll increase their covers by 1 in each one of the 3 colors they have. So this skill is not much different when you have more covers in it. It changes from at 3 to have only 1 of your other teammates, and it's random, to all other allies if you have 4 covers, to boosting by 2 levels if you have 5 covers. And it doesn't boost it above the maximum of 5. So, because of that, there's very few characters that really are better off having 5 covers in a specific skill. And remember, it costs 8 yellow AP to use this skill. It's not a passive. So do you really want to spend 8 AP to get an extra 2 covers on maybe 1 or 2 characters? Most characters, you're better off using the actual yellow AP that they would have for their skills than using black bolts. So I don't see any reason to have this at 5 covers. It's just useless. You're going to have more. Let's say you have Old Man Logan 553. Now he'll be 555 in covers, but you're going to have to spend that 8 AP in yellow to do that, and you're going to give up Old Man Logan's yellow move. So it's not really that useful. Same with Iron Man. You're going to, let's say you have 553 for Iron Man, or Captain America, or Green Goblin. All of these characters just about, besides Banner and Phoenix and Black Suit Spider-Man, you're going to give up their yellow moves, which are going to be better off just without the boost. I mean, you're better off using it plain. So this yellow is pretty much useless. I don't think I would ever use it, ever. It's actually a waste of a skill, and it's going to hurt you if you use other characters that have a yellow skill you want to use, because it's useless. So, because the AI is going to use it on defense, and you're going to end up losing a match at some point because of that on defense. But we don't really care that much about defense. We focus mainly on offense. So on offense, it's just a useless slot. So you've got a really good black and a really good green that probably cancel out the negative of the yellow. So I think the ultimate build for him is 5-5-3. So let's see him in a match. Now, for teammates for Black Bolt, I think you can go a couple different routes. You can try to go with maximum damage output and some crazy board shake abilities. So that would be the Green Goblin, Black Bolt, and Iron Man team. That gives you a usable purple and black, a green, and a red, yellow, and blue. So that gives you full color coverage, board shake from Iron Man's blue, and from Black Bolt's green, super fast damage from Green Goblin's black, damage over time from Black Bolt in addition to his massive AoE damage from his green, if you can actually build up enough AP to use it, and other damage from red from Iron Man for spike damage as well as his yellow for protection as well as damage. So this is one option. The other option is to try and use Old Man Logan and kind of give up on that blue, so you won't have any blue move to use, but you will be able to, with 624 black and 554 yellow, you'll be covering Black Bolt for his black and for his yellow. See, it's 526 black and 460 yellow. And Green Goblin, his black is 564 and 538. So you're going to be basically using Old Man Logan the tank for both Black Bolt and for Green Goblin for two of their colors. So they're only going to have purple for Green Goblin and green for Black Bolt, unless you're going to be up front taking damage when you're on offense. So that shouldn't be underestimated if you really want to be able to keep pushing to the top without using health packs. So I think that either option is a good team. I think if you're in a real rush, though, you're probably better off using Iron Man. I apologize, I had leveled him above 450 after championing him. So he's got a little bit higher health and damage than he normally would. But anyhow, I think both are good options. So let's see what they are like in a fight. I don't think we're actually going to get a chance to see the green at full power because of the high cost, but I'll try my best. Uh-huh, there we go. Oops, shouldn't have done that. Okay, red is now. Well, I guess because it keeps switching which colors it's going to cover, it really can kind of keep putting them in places to be matched. That's actually, yeah, that's actually, not such a bad ability. So I'm never going to actually use this in battle, but just so you can look, you can actually pick who it works on. So let's see. So this cannot be matched or locked, and it doesn't fall. And it can't be converted. So it's not going anywhere, at least. So 5,000 damage because I now have 4 charge tiles out. Oh man, that's annoying. So I need to try and get some green AP going, but I'm afraid of Hulk stealing it with his purple ability. Although on the other hand, Old Man Logan probably is better than Iron Man because you get the double tap of strike tiles with the energy channeling skill. So come to think of it, I'm going to have to go with Old Man Logan being a better teammate. Of course, then you're going to need to find some way to... What? Oh, so it still can get matched. Anyhow, so let's try to get some green. Oh no, Iron Man's going to die. So I actually do have 5 AP in every color right now. So in theory, this should be doing 27,382 damage to both of them. That was a pretty weak scream, man. Pretty weak scream. What was that? Why was there a countdown tile? What the heck? Anyhow. So, I hope he won't die. Okay, so now we can see Quasi-Sonic Whisper at a regular usage. So right now it's going to do 14,000 damage. So he's dead, and it's going to destroy these 2 rows. That was a weak Whisper Man. So, now that we've had a chance to see him in action, I think that his best teammate will probably be Old Man Logan to get benefit from those strike tiles. And depending on what you want, I would say I have very mixed feelings on the Old Man Logan because of the fact that you're destroying tiles when you use his green. So you could end up destroying all of those strike tiles you create. And with Old Man Logan, until he transforms, he's not going to be having any moves to use. So if you're using, for example, Black Bolt and Old Man Logan, Black Bolt's move is going to be used he only has one usable move. Black is not something he uses. Yellow you don't want to use ever because that's a waste of AP. So he's only got that one move that costs 10 AP, and you're not going to be getting that off so often. So it's dependent on who your third teammate is. So if you're in PvP, you don't get to choose who that third teammate is. And if you're in regular simulator or PvE, then you can choose, and that would probably be best to use Phoenix or Green Goblin or Iron Man. Either one of those 3, but it's a bit tough to say who will be the best one to use. I think Green Goblin's good because of his powerful black. You could end up having black and green doing massive damage. And I think that those are the best options, really. So I think that he's a really good character after playing him a bit. His lack of healing is noticeable, as with the other characters that don't have healing in the 5-star tier. When you have characters like Old Man Logan who can heal forever, and Phoenix that can come back after being killed, and you have Bruce Banner that can constantly transform and get an extra 20-something thousand health every time, it makes characters like Black Bolt not seem as useful. But as the 5-star tier grows, there's going to be more and more characters that don't have healing abilities, so it's not going to be so abnormal. And the spike damage capability is going to kind of cancel out that lack of healing, especially with this black ability. It's like Iron Fist green, Iron Fist purple. No, it's Iron Fist black that also creates an attack tile every turn. You know, it's funny, if you were to have Old Man Logan out and you were to have Black Bolt and Iron Fist, you'd be triple tapping on strike tiles because you're going to have energy channeling does not count as an attack tile, so that'll trigger the strike tiles probably. I would assume it's impacted by strike tiles. Then you're going to have Iron Fist impacting the strike tiles with his attack tile, and then regular match damage is going to be impacting the strike tiles as well. So I think that that's actually, even though Iron Fist is a 3-star, if you're playing PvE or really just want to win a quick match in Simulator, I think that team will be insane. But overall, I think Black Bolt's a great new addition to the 5-star character range, even though nobody's going to be able to cover him for about a year and a half unless you spend $10,000 or so or have the luck of a lottery winner. But still, he's a really good character. I wish they had designed his yellow better, because as it is right now, it's pretty much useless. And I feel like it's almost a commentary on the game direction that they've gone in, because 5-stars are so hard to cover that it's almost as if they're saying, well, don't worry about it. We gave you Black Bolt's yellow skill. So even though you don't have enough covers on your 5-stars, just level them up and bring Black Bolt along and he'll provide them with their missing covers. The only problem with that is you need to cover Black Bolt before that happens and matters. So pretty much it's a useless skill. But again, his green and black are really good. and I think overall they did a very good job. I'm very happy with this new character release after some of the recent ones that were not so clear cut as being good or were outright bad. So good job, Demiurge. I think you did a good job with Black Bolt's design, and I'm looking forward to your next Inhuman addition to the game. Don't forget to leave some comments and like if you enjoyed this video, and stay tuned for my next one.